Hi dearest lovely, my name is Kaylin Vu and it's such a pleasure to meet you. I'm the founder of Dear Lovely Universe. My mission is to help people live their best lives possible by transforming them into the best versions of themselves. Hi dearest lovely, I hope that you're having a wonderful day and I just want to thank you for tuning into this episode. I interview Stefan Ricks, who is a podcaster, musician, and author, among many other things. He's a really great person who wants to spread love and light. Before we dive into the episode, I just want to say a reminder that I encourage you all to search all of these topics on your own. Don't just take my or a guest's word on any topic. If you don't agree with the topics discussed, that's fine. That's why we're opening a discussion about it. And lastly, everything that a guest talks about is a reflection of the guest's views and does not necessarily mean it is also mine. I allow this podcast to be a space for all to share what they're passionate about freely. This episode is for you if you desire to learn more about life's purpose, want to hear about Rick's best advice for creatives, just want to hear insight on Rick's outlook on a meaningful life. This episode was really fun to film. I honestly really enjoyed my conversation with Rick, and I can tell that he's a very genuine person. I'm really glad that he and I got the opportunity to collaborate and share this with you. I also just want to give you a heads up that there was some technical difficulties, so my voice is a little not the best quality, but it is what it is, and I hope you enjoyed the episode anyway. Hi, dearest lovelies. Welcome back to another episode of Dear Lovely Universe. Today, I have a special guest speaker, Stefan Ricks, from the Poema PDX podcast. He has some really amazing wisdom to share with you all that is really in line with everything Dear Lovely Universe has to offer. So I'm really excited to see how this conversation goes, and let's welcome him to the show.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for just letting me be on this show with you guys today. It's been so cool to be able to be in alignment with you guys and just to be able to see your guys' heart for self-love, see your heart to continue to press into the discovery of healing, and the most powerful way is to love. So yeah.
Yeah, totally. Love prevails all.
Come on, it does.
So, can you tell listeners about yourself?
Oh yeah, for sure. So I have a podcast called Poema PDX, and the podcast it's about creatives. Like we just really want so bad to be a place where creatives that are in videography, photography, music, even writing, that they have a spot in the creative world. And so much of the time we're just told that it's so scary, it's so not possible. All these things are not true because it's all about the community. It's all about doing the real heart work where we can come together and we can love each other and understand that as creatives, we actually need each other more than ever. So through this, we have such an amazing opportunity to be able to love people and to be able to just, come alongside. So, the podcast is more so along the lines of just coming in and sharing their journey, their discovery, and as well as saying, hey, I want to help. If you're in a podcast community or a podcaster, I want to help you become the best version of yourself. And we're going to do that together instead of you feeling like you have to do it alone. So much of the time as artists, we want to do things on our own. And I think we're never meant to do things on our own. We're meant to do things together in community and to really just fully embrace the process in that.
Yeah. I love what you said about creatives coming together. It's a very powerful thing when two people come together to inspire each other. It's like this fire ignites and ideas come together.
Yeah.
The passion becomes more intense and it's just a wonderful thing.
Totally. And I completely agree. We were never supposed to do things alone. We were supposed to do things in community. And of course, being in isolation right now, we still have community. Like it's just in a different way. It's in a digital way, which can be really hard. But like, we need to just learn to embrace it for this season, this time, and to be able to be like, hey, you know what? We'll get to that point again where we can be together and we can like give each other hugs and be able to, like give people high fives and have that like physical affirmation, that physical, just, energy that comes around when you are together with people that are like-minded. But like we're supposed to do things together. So I think it's just important for us at Poema to really be in a place where we're able to love the creative community, because there's not many people that do, and a lot of them are really alone, and they just need to know that they're seen, they're loved, and that they are truly doing amazing things all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, I mean, entrepreneurship and creative ventures can get lonely sometimes,
Yeah,
but it's important to know that there's a community out there and you're definitely not alone.
totally.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I want to ask, what does living a life of impact mean to you?
Oh my gosh. I read that question and I was like, whew, all right, let's go. And I think that question, it's simply boiled down to one word, but as we know, it's love. But with that one word comes a lot of weight, a lot of responsibility, because a lot of times we say, oh, well, love is a movement. Love is, the way, self-love, go love like without limits, and love covers all. And we have to understand that everything that we do needs to be motivated by love. Every single thing. Like, even if we're talking to each other, even if we're sending an email, or even if we're just like going for a walk, like it shouldn't be done in a way that says, I guess I'll do this. I guess like this sounds pretty cool, but like actually being purposeful, actually living intentional, with love being the fuel, the motor of every single thing you're doing. And that's what living impact looks like. Because if you do things with half of your heart in it, people are going to see that. People are going to they're going to be like, oh my gosh, like I see what this guy is doing and like it's good, but it can be better. And you're just like, well, shoot, that means that there needs to be more love. Like you need to actually realign, readjust, and be like, okay, what areas need to like go out that I'm not loving, and how can I grow the things I do love about it and make them more pertinent and raise them so that I can be able to edify and be able to move in a way that says, hey, like I'm giving my whole heart here, and I want people to like, I want every single thing that I put my hands to, that I just talk about, say, whatever, to be like this place that says, man, this Steven guy, he just loves what he's doing. Like, even if it's grocery shopping, like he just is so excited. He's passionate about it. And like, that passion, that energy that you put out, it's such an amazing impact, because it will literally cause a movement of people be like, whoa, this guy's really on fire about something. They don't know what it is, but they're like, hey, like why are you so excited about life? I'm like, dude, I just love my life. And they're like, what? Like, that's such a different kind of approach, because so many people are like, well, yeah, I gotta go to work, I gotta do this, I gotta sit in traffic forever. And they're like, they just kind of live in this kind of monotonous circle, this wheel where like they just are kind of dreading the life that they are living. So I'm like, are you living an impactful life? Like, are you knowing your coworkers? Are you actually being present with the people around you? Are you actually being intentional with your relationships and your time? Like, and is all that moved in the motion and out of the wheelhouse of love? So I think that is the most important way to live a life of impact, is to let everything that you do and everything that you put your hands to or say or you are around, just do it with such a great amount of love. And I think, like, in order to get to that place, that position, you have to first understand that you are loved and receiving that love, which I think is like so hard to do because our culture is so, man, it's like it's something that we are not trained. We're like, oh yeah, like I love and I love this and I love that and this and but like that word is just really taking a back seat. It's like why do we love things like, oh, I love, just say, food, and like it's like something that we just do so normally. It's like, well, is this word love being thrown around like so flippantly? Like we actually need to understand that this word is like such a powerful word. It has a lot of power and a lot of movement and a lot of energy behind it. So if we like say, hey, I love you, or I love this, I love whatever, that should mean like, whoa, hold up. Like this is amazing. Like this is something that's like bigger. And then you're like, hey, I love myself and I know that I am loved. And that should be like, wow, I can wake up and I can be like, shoot, it's already been a great day. I'm loved. I'm waking up loved. And I can like walk in that area and that movement and that like truth and that complete confidence of the love that I've been given from God and the love that I've been able to walk in as a person that has family, community, and I get to talk and hang around a lot of people that don't get to experience that. So I get to be like, hey, I love what you're doing and I love who you are. And that's so cool. And they're like, whoa, that's so great, man. And like, when you say that to people, when you see that, and they feel it, they believe it. They're like, whoa, oh my gosh, like what just hit me? And it was like, I want to know what that is and how did he get to that point and where did he go to figure out how loved he is, or all those kinds of things. So yeah, like living a life of impact means love, but you have to first love yourself and understand how loved you are before you can do that so properly. Long-winded answer, I know, sorry. But so passionate about it. So passionate.
Yeah, no need to be sorry at all. I love the long answer. I heard saying that the word love is only as powerful as the person's actions and intent behind it. You know? So I totally agree that it should be used in a way that is responsible and people's actions, everyday actions should reflect the love that they have for themselves, the universe, the world, their families. And I agree, people should be excited about life, because when you are, I believe that if you are living through your purpose and your passion, and this is what you're meant to do, you're just naturally going to want to wake up in the morning because this is what you love. You're doing what you love.
Come on.
And
so good.
Yeah. So if you're doing what you love, naturally life will be more exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I think that's the question I asked myself like so long ago was just like, like what would give me that feeling that I get on Christmas morning every single day? Because like when you're younger, when you like, if you celebrate that holiday, Christmas, like the 25th of December, like when you're young, that day is like the best day ever. And you're like, oh my gosh, these presents, like you probably can't even sleep. You're like so excited about life. And you're like, man, I can't wait to get downstairs on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. And like, that was my question, is like, what would give me that feeling every day? What would give me that same joy every single day that I can do, that's possible? And it doesn't have to be about gifts or getting things. It was like, what can I give away that like I love so much? And I can do this every moment that I wake up and I'm just like, yes, I'm ready to go into this next day. I'm so excited. I'm so amped to wake up and to be like, hey, it's 6:30 or it's 7. And I'm like, man, I don't even need coffee. I don't even need to have these extra things. Like these things are great to have because like, sure, I'm human, but it's not like this kind of place where like I'm dependent on this because I need this extra thing to get me there. It's like, no, like this is just a little extra, you know, to what's already happening. So being able to give to the creative community, being able to love them so, oh my gosh, so dearly and deeply. Like I just really have a huge heart for them. And I have so many friends who have just been the ups and downs of it. And it's just like, man, like I really wish that I can help in some kind of way, whether that's giving money or giving like time or just being a good friend and like just really telling them like, hey, like let's sit down and let's work through this together. Let's not make this about the rest of the world, because it's so much the time we can be so focused on trying to allow people to like tell us who we are. And I think as a creative in this like sphere and platform right now, like it can be so easy to feel like, yeah, I really, really want to like get a lot of likes, a lot of plays, a lot of things. And you're like, dude, none of that matters if you're doing it without love. Like it shouldn't even like matter who listens to this if they're just hearing this because you want to become bigger or famous. Like, and that was my upbringing for so long, of just being in this performance track of like, I just want to go and do everything so I'm seen and so that I can be the cool kid. And it's like, I was so exhausted. I was just like, man, I need like 10 cups of coffee to get through 10 like minutes of the day. It was just like a drag. And, you know, and then just being in that place of like, no, like I'm doing this because I love this. And I'm doing this because I get to love others that are in that same place that, you know, feel a loss of hope, a loss of love, a loss of, you know, just purpose. And I'm able to like put that fire back into that passion and like, and stoke the flame and be like, here's some, what's it called? Here's some more wood chips. Here's some more, what's it freaking called? The thing that you put into the fire and it goes like, not fire, not fire. Yeah, I don't even know what I'm thinking of. Not kerosene, but like, like putting in like gas, more gas in the fire without like putting gas, because that'll be pretty gnarly to put gas in the fire on top of it. But, yeah, just being able to light their fires and put more, just put more flame to it and like more of an impact and reach. Because you know what? We just find out that we do a lot more impact when we stop trying to please everyone. We just gotta like love what we're doing and focus on at most 3 very specific people. So, and we love those 3 people so well and diligently that we will actually hit a greater amount of people, because we're so in alignment with loving these people so well that there's just going to be such a larger impact that comes that we don't even expect, which is completely God, like the world around us coming alongside us saying, hey, I see you and I'm going to completely bless it. I'm going to like overflow it. And I'm going to honor and give you more because that you've been faithful in the little things. And now you're able to be blessed in the bigger things.
Yeah.
Whew.
I go to babysit and tutor children often. That's my side hustle. And whenever I see a child, I try my best to, give them my all, because, you know, children is just an example, but everyone is so deserving of realness and authenticity. And it's important to mention that, you know, everything is temporary.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's important to give our all the time. when I say our all, trying our best, not anything under our best and not anything over our best. Because either one is, if you do less than your best, you're going to judge yourself. If you do more, you're going to get burnt out.
Yep.
So just try your best and remember that everything is temporary. And I mean, if you really think of it from an objective point of view, if everything is temporary and we're guaranteed going to die one day,
Yeah.
then shouldn't we be excited about about life? I mean, how many more days do we get to live? There's people passing away all the time. And I don't mean to get grim about it, but it's just the reality. And I think if you are not living the life that you want to live, if you don't love the person you are and the life, like who you've become, it's never too late to change it.
And I can 1 bajillion% agree with everything you just said. Like, I think it's that kind of place where people are so afraid to live their best life. Like that term, that situation that's been like completely overshot into this like place of saying, well, like, you know, live your best life. But really, like, we shouldn't have to like try to manifest something or try to like create something out of nothing. Like, we should be like, it's all about actually looking inside ourselves and saying, man, like, I really need to be more sensitive to how I'm treating myself. How am I, like, if the only thing that we know for certain in this life is that, you know, we're going to die one day, like, that should be sobering enough to be like, well, shoot, I have a limited amount of time. So how about this? I live my life to the best that I possibly can while I'm here. And I let it be moved out of a place of love. And like, you know, I think that's like the most important thing, 1 bajillion%, because like, there's just that place that, you know, if we're living in a place that it says, well, everything's gonna die, everyone's gonna die, and we're like all grim and really gloomy and like bummed out, then what's the purpose of living? But if we say on the flip side, hey, like, my days are numbered and I don't know like when I'm going to be gone, but like, I don't want to be in this place that I'm literally, like the quote saying, I'm barely getting by. That makes my heart just drop. It makes my whole being just be like, man, like, you just like pretty much like stabbed me in the gut, and I'm like just feeling your pain because it's so heavy. It's so much to think about, because we were all there, but we don't have to stay there. We don't have to sit in that mess and be like, well, I just want to get money. Like, it's just so important, and like, I want to get these things. It's like, dude, like, if you realize like how much you're willing to give away for money, you're willing to give up your whole entire self for money? Is that true? Like, you're willing to die and like give your whole life away to chase paper? Oh my gosh, like, there's so much more to life than that. And we have to understand that, which is why we are in a world where we're like wanting to give our best, live our best, to be in health. Like being our best means that we're living a healthy life. We're living in health in our families, in our communities, in our work. And we're not just scraping to get by and be like, oh my gosh, I really just don't want to go to work tomorrow. And I'm like, man, I can't wait to get to work tomorrow. I can't wait to like wake up tomorrow. Like, it's like that total flip that happens, because once you realize and you do the hard work on the inside and you just clean out all the crevices, you clean out all the baggage, you clean out all the lies, the things you've been taught from, whether it's family, whether it's school, whether it's government, whether it's your own self-doubt, and whether it's social media. It's like, oh, well, I'll never be then. I'll never be that person. I'll never get 1,000 likes or whatever. Like, you know, clear all that stuff out. Go deep diving into your own self and the trash that you have, and just take it out. Take that trash out and like allow yourself to breathe again, guys. Like, it's so important for you to fully allow yourself to be who you are. And I think that's the best thing that you can do, is like being a reflection of your best self is quote unquote success. And that is like the most beautiful thing ever.
Yeah, I really couldn't agree more. I think when people think of success, they think about having, I don't know, materialistic things in general, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'm literally, my eyes are tearing because it's so unfortunate. Like, people think college, graduating, like, school diplomas, and like, these things are great, and people work really hard for it.
Yeah.
But people also are working themselves really, really hard sometimes at things that they really couldn't care less about, just because they know that this is a path that will come to fruition, but they don't love it.
Yeah.
And I think my advice for those people is to take a really deep look at what kind of, are you serving your highest good?
That's a good
Are
question.
you?
Yeah, come on.
You know, is this the way that you really want to live this lifetime?
Mm-hmm.
And what is the natural gift that you have inside of you, but could be too nervous or scared to bring out? And are you ready to bring it out?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's like the real question is, are you ready to bring out your best self? Because that is the most scary question to conquer and to face, because so much of our time we're just like, oh, well, who am I? What do I love? What makes me like actually want to get up in the morning? And those questions, you have to really think. You can't just be like, oh, well, coffee, that's good. Or, oh, yeah, I just love the ocean, or I love money, or I love hiking and friends, a community. Like, but the more you just like get really specific with it, like, okay, like really what would make my whole worldview, my whole life, give me that complete freedom to love without bounds, to live without bounds. Because you didn't say this, but I was thinking it, so I'm gonna say it. Like, you're literally working yourself to death. Like, people are working themselves to a place where they're willing to die and not be like their best self. So like, they're willing to give their whole entire life away so that they can have money, like, and like they're not even living in a full way. And I think that's where our hearts are completely connected. We're like, man, we just want so bad for people to live fully. And that doesn't mean that it's just going to happen naturally, because I personally think that there's a lot of work that has to happen. But along the way, the more that you actually do the work, the more you're just like stripping and shedding away all of the baggage you've carried for so long. You're like, wow, actually I can do this. Wow, I can be a better person, a better employee, a better owner of a business, a better friend, a better husband, wife, whatever it is that, you know, like, it's something that you may have never believed for yourself because you were so bogged down. But the more that you choose to love yourself, the more access and more permission you give yourself to actually try. And I think that's the most beautiful thing, because like, one of the things that I've just been thinking about is like one of your questions, which I love, and I'm like really wrestling on it, which is good. It says, like, do you think that if you love what you do, then the rest will come? And that question, I had to sit on it for like a good time, and I was like, man, yeah, I do, but I don't think it's that easy. I think people, they kind of want to take it into this kind of place of, well, I love everything, and now I'm gonna just like quit everything, and like everything will come to me. And it's like, no, like, the amount of work that you're willing to put in for the thing that you love will not even feel like work. Like, it's not going to feel like this kind of like place where you're hitting a wall, you're being plateaued, you're being capped off, because you're literally going to be in a position, in a posture where you're like, man, I'm just actually being a better version of myself, and I'm just doing this because I want to, and I love it. And so I think, like, the more that we are doing what we love, we're actually allowing ourselves just to be who we were supposed to be, and we're moving in that way. We're moving in that kind of like position that is not even fully like, it's not like a you have to go and do things like so much like a works mindset. It's more of you're just naturally doing it, like, and you're just able to not have to feel like you're forcing your way into something and hoping that you'll get approval. You're like, no, like, I love this, and I already like gave myself the approval before I even walked into this, and I'm gonna do so well in it because I know that this is what I was supposed to do. I know that this is who I'm supposed to be. This is my gift. This is my skill, and this is the thing I love the most in my life.
Yeah, totally. And something that I thought of when you were saying that was, when there's people that, when they're not living that way, they aren't comfortable with themselves, they like the life that they're living,
Mm-hmm.
they will drown themselves out with, alcohol, beers,
Yeah.
substances, parties. And I just want to say that these things could be, deemed as normal, or it could just be like a routine thing that people do, and they're just like, oh, it's just my routine.
Yeah. So sad.
And the fact that this is so normalized in our culture, I think, is alarming.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Totally. Keep going.
And if you are the kind of person that has a beer every day or drinks alcohol every day, really, please take time to reflect on your life, because this is you crying out that you don't appreciate yourself the way that you are, and the mind frame that you're in, you're not respecting yourself. So do yourself a favor and respect yourself. And I think that what you're saying about doing what you love and the rest will come, yeah, I say this often, but everything that's great takes time. Everything. So, if you're doing what you love, please keep doing it, and don't give up, because it's when you fail, you won't receive if you never take action, or if you stop, you will never be able to receive the results, the gratification, the building of, a project or a business, anything. Nothing will come to fruition. If you go after it and you pursue that thing, then you can at least know in your heart that you did it and that you tried.
Yeah. Oh, man, I can go forever about this, because I think that this is like, oh, man, this is a thing that I love, because I think so many times people are they're so focused on the wrong thing. And I say that like really in a cautious way, because I think so much of the times we can really look and say, okay, well, like, I want to have something, and like, instead of saying the exact other thing, like, it should be this exact different question. The question shouldn't be the end result. It should be the bigger why. Like the why will always drive you. I think that people hear that, but they're like, well, what does that mean? Like, well, my why is something that is, you know, like material, which we can't let it be material, guys. Like anyone listening right now, your why needs to be something that you can never like see in a physical way, because like if it's maybe something that's like a manifest, like in like, let's say like anything material, like a house or money or whatever like that, once you get that, and even if you were to retrieve that, you're going to be more willing to sacrifice yourself to get to that point, just like you're willing to sacrifice yourself right now in a 9-to-5 job or in a regular job. You're willing to sacrifice your own health for this thing that you are working towards. And I think that's so dangerous, because we should be able to say, hey, my why for Poiema is I want to help other people be the very best that they can be as creatives. And that word best, I have no scale on it. I have no idea what that means. But I just want to see a life of impact to every single person that I talk to. And I want them to be like, man, I can do this. Yes, I can create art. I can do this because Steven at Poiema came alongside me and said, hey, I see you, I love you, and you're going to be amazing, because like I know that your support from me is going to be way stronger than my support from everyone behind me, because they've told me I was just going to fail because I tried and continually tried and didn't get what I was expecting or what they were expecting as far as the material things or the status or the likes or whatever it is. Like we can't let these things be scalable in that kind of way, because that's what our culture says. That's what our whole world says. And the world right now is so backwards. Like we need to understand that once you let your why be something that's so much more people focused, everything will completely come into fruition, guys. And oh man, I just like, my heart just melts in this like world, because we're so material driven. We're so willing to say, you know what, I'm gonna put alcohol in my system because I've had a bad day. You know, like, hold up there, buddy. Like, what the heck are you saying right now? Like, why are you willing to throw alcohol down into your body when there's a greater issue that's there, and you're just saying, oh, I'll cover it up? Or you're gonna go to, you know, the casino, or you're gonna go to like eating like a lot of food and just feeling like a glutton. Like, I don't know. Or you're maybe gonna go work out and just like try to like get it all out in the gym and be like, okay, if I don't eat, if I have abs, if I am just so perfect on the outside, my inside will actually come in alignment. Guys, that's not how it works. Ever. Never has. Like, your inner gut has to be healed before your outer self is going to be healed. And that's why it's from the inside out, guys. It's not from the outside in. It never has been. We can't take an outside source and try to fix it with an inside problem. We have to go deep into our heart and say, okay, like, what is going on here? Like, why do I believe that I can never play on a stage in front of 10 people or 1,000 people? Or why do I believe I can't do a podcast and that I can be engaging and people would actually care about it? Like, where did that come from? Was I bullied? Was I told I wasn't enough? Was I told that, you know, life was just meant to be behind a desk in a suit and tie or a skirt and a hair up in a ponytail or a bun? Like, no, like, there's so much more, and there needs to be a belief that there is more, guys. There's so much more. And the more that we allow that into our mind and actually just sink into our heart, oh my gosh, the possibilities are so endless, because there's a place that in us that says, I just want more. I want more, not of the things, but I want more of the heart of why. Like, I want to know more of people's lives, more about people's stories. I want to know more about people's journey so I can learn and grow and adapt, so I can give love, receive love, because the more that we are living outside of our passion and actually like living in it and loving ourselves, there's this reciprocal effect that happens. It's so beautiful. It's this place that people are like, man, I just love him or her because they love what they're doing. And it's not out of a cocky way or a conceited way. It's like out of a place that says, I just really love my life and I'm not afraid to let people in. I'm not afraid to be myself. And people are like, wow, I want to know what that feels like. I want to know what that looks like. I want to know how to get there. And they're like, well, come along. And I'm like, come along for the ride. I'm like, let's be friends. Let's be in community. Let's actually see each other as people, not as objects. Let's see each other as like people and not as robots. let's fully understand that we're not made just to produce things. We're actually made to be loved, to receive love, and to enjoy this amazing life that we have. And we can be able to love so freely in a way that will just spread like fire around the world. And that's going to be like the greatest amount of impact, as well as the greatest amount of just freedom that you'll experience in your life. So yeah, my gosh, I'm like going off over here. So I just like, you can tell me to stop anytime.
No, I love the passion so much, and I think you bring up some really great points. What is one of your biggest failures, and what did you learn from it?
Whew. Oh my gosh, man. Let's see. One of my biggest failures. Yeah, so I would say my biggest failure for so long, it was trying to be in all of those, I guess those, MLM things. They're like, oh, like affiliate marketing, and like, let's go and like try to sell you something and try to like get money from you. And like that right there was so, that's where I knew, like, and that's why I'm so passionate about this, because I was like dead in the center, just like chasing money. And I was like, you know what? I need to get out of this job, and I want to get more money. And it was like, what the heck? So of course you see these like ads of like, you want to live your best life, and it's like all these like cool things. You're like, oh yeah, cool. And then you're like, you start going and you like start perusing around and you're like going to it. And then at the end, you're like, all right, well, cool. Like you can buy this, and then you can start selling these things to other people and keep on going and all this stuff. And like, and I was just like, okay, cool. It's like, you can just do this kind of situation multiple times. And throughout this whole entire process, I just turned all my friends and family into a dollar sign. I turned them all into this product. And I was like, hey, if I can like talk to all these people, and sure, they care about me, they love me, they'll surely buy my stuff, and they'll like be supporting me in my business endeavor, blah, blah, blah. But I actually lost 500 friends in a matter of 3 months. Like, and I was just like, what the heck am I doing? Like, it was like, whoa, I don't even know like why, or like I knew why. Like in the moment though, like I just was so like, is this me? Is this like truly my, like, do people just like not see me, love me, all this stuff? But it was the exact opposite. They're like, Steven, I'm not a dollar sign. I'm not that. And you're trying to tell me that you want me to buy into this so that you can live this crazy best life of yours in this way that says, yeah, like I want to live on a yacht and I want to have all these physical things. And yeah, it was so hard for me to let go of that belief and be like, hey, I am an idiot and I need to like readjust myself, because it became to this place where I was like, you know what? Like, I'm so afraid. I'm so afraid to tell the people on the other side that were not my friends and family. No, I was like, hey, I need to get out of this. And I was like, I was so afraid to tell them that because I felt like I owed them something, because they were like, we're believing in you. And they're like all supportive and all this stuff. Of course, as like all these other MLMs and like some of our Ponzi schemes are. And through that, I was just like, no, like what am I doing? I'm willing to give myself up that easy? Am I willing to say that my friends and my family are less important than these strangers that are like running this business? And like from that, I was like, no way, I'm out of here. Like, so like I learned, I was like, I need to go back to all my friends and tell them, hey guys, oh, this is hard to tell them this. Like, I messed up. I'm sorry. I saw you guys as material things and not as people. I saw you guys as a number in my bank account, other than seeing you as a friend, a father, a mother, a brother, sister, whatever, excuse me. And, you know, so through that whole process, I was like, I never want to make my friends money again. I never want to make them the objects of money. Sure, I'll give them money. I don't care. But like, I never want to like make them the object of money to say like, this is why I am pursuing a business. So now that I've been able to realign and readjust those things, like it's been a really sobering, a very humbling, as well as a very, yeah, I guess it's just been like a very impactful way that has like allowed me to kind of be in my full alignment with God and full alignment with my best self, and to not feel ashamed of being who I am. And like, because I know that everything that I'm doing, it's not out of a place of greed or selfishness. It's out of actually a place of love and like pure selflessness, where I can like say, I want to like love these people so well, and I want to make that my ultimate like, you know, proclamation, or my ultimate goal as a person.
Yeah, I had a similar experience with network marketing, and I think they try to sell you on this dream and stuff like that in general. So much so that you think, wow, I can do this. And of course, the first people you reach out to are your friends and family, because you know, it's important to remember, like you said, these are people. And you know, when you go to the grocery store and you're checking out and these people are bagging your groceries and whatever, treat them like they're people. Treat them like people who might not want to be there, who have feelings, who they've just been through something amazing or is shitty. You know, ask them how they're doing.
Yeah.
And like, also remember to not take things personally when people don't reciprocate something, or they put something on you that, you know, might not really be appreciated, because everything that they do has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
And it honestly be kind of selfish in a way to think it is. Because yeah, not everything revolves around you. Everyone does something because they want to do it. If they're gonna change, it's because they want to change. We can never force anyone to do anything. It's easier to love people the way that they are and accept them the way that they are.
Yeah, so good. It's so true. And I love what you just said. Like, I don't know if we're coming close to the end of everything, but I want to totally say this is like what you just said, that people, the way that they respond and react is not your responsibility. I think so much of the time we think that we're responsible for other people's reaction, which is crazy. Like that's so like so backwards because there's no way that we can go into someone else and be like, all right, I want you to respond like this because I said this. Like if we did that, that would be if we had that kind of control in our life to like do that over other people, the world would be so much more interesting, as well as like it would probably be like there'd be no conflict if we had that power to control and to like, you know, kind of like mind read in that way. But like understand that everyone's going through a battle, everyone's going through their own stuff, and we have to just like see people in that light, even if you're on the other end of, you know, of the fight to be healed from your gut cleansing and like your heart cleansing all the baggage and stuff. Like it's, you still need to understand that you can't just go and be like, you need to go figure your stuff out, you need to go do this, and like, you know, because that is not the way of loving people. We're not called to judge them, we're called to love them, guys. And like and it's going to be crazy because a lot of times if we just continue to push through and push in with more love, like there's actually something that they come back to like, wow, I'm so sorry for treating you like that. You're like, oh, like, you know, because of course that's what you want to hear, because you're like, oh, I bet this person really needs to hear this. But like let them figure that out, let them get to that conclusion on their own. Because if we are the one that tells them that, and if they're having a bad day, if they're having whatever, and they're the one that's like, man, I was really awful, I was really a shitty person to that person over there, and I just really feel bad about, like, there's gonna be a greater way that, like, I believe that their spirit, their like love for the world and for themselves will actually grow, because they're gonna be able to be taught through that situation to be like, hey, maybe I need to like figure out what I'm doing right now, because if I'm treating people like this that are like super kind, there's probably something that's wrong with where I'm at, and maybe I need to do some work on myself and figure out what that looks like so that I can be a better person to these really great people, and I can be a better person to myself. Because a lot of times people have a hard time, like I said before, you have to love yourself, people. You have to like understand that you're so loved, and that like once you can live your life knowing that you're loved, there's no way that you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna give love, I'm not gonna like go and give it all away, because you want so bad just to like be like, man, I'm loved, and now I'm able to give this love away and know that it's gonna come back in like greater measure. And it's like so powerful, and it's so amazing too.
Yeah. Well, I totally agree with everything that you just said, and people should definitely invest time every day to love themselves. And I just want to say, for the people that maybe don't believe that they are loved, know that I have love for you. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure planet Earth has love for you, and God, in whatever shape or form that you believe in. Mm-hmm. You are loved, even if it doesn't come in human form.
Yeah, totally. 100% agree with you.
Do you have any books or like mentors or channels, anything that you recommend listeners to check out?
Ooh, let's see here. Well, I did just write a book. So little shout out, little plug for myself. And it will be released in the fall. It's currently going through the editing and publishing stages right now. So it's going to be coming out here in the fall. I think a really good book that helped me out a lot is, what's it called? It's called, oh, here we go. It came to me. It's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. That book is so important because it allows us to understand that we as humans we don't have the capacity that we think we do. And we really are not supposed to like live our life in this way that says, I need to please everything and everyone around me. And I need to do everything for everyone and forget myself in the process. Because there's so many things that are grabbing our attention at all times. Like right now, the news and social media and maybe our work and maybe our spouse or our family. Like there's so many different things where like you can just kind of feel like you just like give yourself permission to go climb into a hole and you're like, I don't want to come out until next year because right now it's so crazy. But if we actually like were to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give my energy to these specific things and everything else, whatever. Who cares? Like, you know, you don't need to give everyone your attention. You need to actually give yourself the permission to give yourself that attention to them because they're trying to get your attention and they let you believe that your attention is the most important thing for their product. And you have to understand that your attention is the most important thing for you. Like you have to be able to be so aware of your own attention span and your own belief and capacity that you have to be like, hey, I don't feel bad for saying no because actually I'm saying no to you, but I'm saying yes to myself. I'm saying yes to my family. I'm saying yes to my friends. I'm saying yes to all these things that really matter to me. And I think that's so much more important than trying to say yes to everything and losing yourself in the process. Because there's such a world that is so gripping on this. And my book that's going to be released in the fall is called God Removed. And I believe in Jesus and completely love Jesus with all of my being. And I don't like to be in the category of Christian because that whole entire world has just been super destructive. And I don't think that's like what I would rather. I just want to be known as a follower of Christ and that I love him and that I know that like I've been loved and I've been shown love and grace every day of my life. And, you know, through that comes the place that I want to reciprocate that love. And so my book is about understanding who God is, like for who he is and not for the things that we do. Like our culture today has been so destructive in saying, well, I love God and I love Jesus and I love Buddhists and I love all this stuff. Hey guys, like if you look at this, like all these guys and all these people have a similar belief and a similar root, and it's love. Like it's so destructive when we see this and we say, well, you're going to be going down here and this is this and this is that, and you're not reading your Bible enough, you're not doing church enough. Like if we're going to really go down that path, we have to understand that we're being just like the people that God said, that Jesus said that he really hates. He hates religious people. He hates religion. He actually loves people that just want to live in the law of love. And he wants them to live in that freedom to love without bounds. His love is so abounding and it's so reckless that it's willing to go to the last person in the freaking world and say, hey, I see you. Hey, I love you. And I completely am for you. Even if you're in your darkest of places, like I love you and I died for you and I rose for you. And it's not about trying to be perfect, because that's where the religion is such a bullshit lie. It's so disturbing, disgusting. And it's like this place where we're like, no, let's get back to the heart of why we're here. And that's to put God back into the place that he's supposed to be. And that's the place of love that he showed for all of us so that we can love others. And I think that's the most important thing right there, guys. Like, so my book will be released. It's going to be it's called God Removed. And it's just talking about that, how we can get back to the simple ways of loving each other as we've been loved, and how we can just destroy religion. Like, fuck religion. It's so disgusting. It's so disturbing. And it's really destructive to who you are as people. So, like, love without bounds. Like, don't be afraid to love. If you guys ever need anything, feel free to reach out at Poiema PDX on Instagram, on Facebook. We have a website as well, www.poiemapdx.com. I would love to hear from you guys. If you guys are creatives yourself and you want to be on our podcast, reach out. I'll make time. We'll make it happen. It'll be a lot of fun, and it'll be just a great conversation like this. So thank you guys so much.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for, just